Just a few years ago, we had 252 horsepower out of a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, and they dropped it for this hybrid powertrain, but they did transform the drive. So the suspension, the steering, the seat comfort, everything was implemented to make it a better drive, more for quality. Also better sound deadening, which when you go into this trim, this window, these windows here, they're acoustic, so it's going to be a lot more quiet. So now, did the 11th generation keep on track with the Accord heritage? We're showcasing the 2026 Honda Accord Touring Hybrid in Canyon River Blue over black interior. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and the world's dynamic has changed dramatically, so it is hard to keep the heritage to the vehicles without throwing a hybrid system in to get better MPGs, because let's face it, everywhere you go, gas prices, it's uncertain. You don't know if it's going to rise or it's going to be lowered, and that's why the hybrids are one of those favorite picks. But you still have a turbocharged engine that has the same power that's back before the refresh. 5.3 inches of clearance is going to be standard on all trims. Now, the LED headlights are daytime running. One thing to note about the assembly is it's going to be more darkened, so it's going to look a little bit more aggressive. And this will illuminate a brighter white, giving more distance in darker areas to help navigate through any roads. EXL Hybrid and this Touring Hybrid are the only two trims that you could get the front parking sensors. Glossy black, that's going to be the highlight when you're going into the Tour and on the Sport trims. For the grille and the lower bit, house underneath the hood receives a 2-liter direct injection inline 4-cylinder that's producing a combined of 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque, paired to an eCVT transmission, which is an electronically controlled variable transmission, achieving 46 mpgs for the city, 41 mpgs for the highway, with a combined of 44 mpgs, reaching 60 around 6.6 seconds with a top speed between 115 and 120 miles an hour. And this year, Honda has tweaked it a little bit with the wheel design, because you only have 2 trims to choose from for 17-inch wheel. LX, which is the base trim, EXL Hybrid. Otherwise, all trims are going to have a 19-inch wheel. This will have the black interior with the chrome surrounding machine finished alloy wheel, and all of the Accords will have the walk up and walk away to lock and auto lock the doors, which if you are cross shopping between the Camry, it's not going to be the case. You have to pay extra for these features. You wouldn't get it in the base trim, nor will you get some of the safety features that will be included in the base trim here. The Camry will also have 4 mpgs more to the city, 8 mpgs more to the highway, and you can configure that as an all-wheel drive, whereas here you can only receive this at a front-wheel drive configuration, even if you're going into the turbo variant. And this will also be 2.2 inches longer, which will give you more interior space as well as cargo capacity compared to the Camry. The Camry will have 5 trims to choose from, so it makes it a little bit easier to tailor. This only has 8 different exterior colors, 4 of them being premium and 2 interior colors. All Accords will have LED tail lights, the dark on the top parts that integrate into the smaller Honda logo. Now, this pays homage to the 80s model Accord, which was the first generation in the United States. The European fastback design, that pays homage to the 70s, which was the first generation for the Accord. Now, I know we've had the refresh for more than a few years, and we are looking for an all-new trim, but that's going to be more so towards 2028 and 2029. So if you are looking for updates, going here, you are going to receive more updates in the interior, depending on which trim you go to. But when you go into the Touring, this is the only way you'll get all of the features in the vehicle, because with Honda, you no longer can option features. But let me know which way you would go in the comments. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe and the like, because all these clicks help with the algorithm so we can bring more vehicles to the channel. Quick release going into 16.7 cubic feet of storage, which is 1.6 cubic feet more than the Camry. You're going to have storage underneath the floor. A side to side, that's going to max at 55 inches. With a front to back at 45.5 inches, and to split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split. I got 2 tabs back here that you'll just pull, which will give us about a 6 to 7 inch lip. The opening is about 34 inches, and that will maximize cargo capacity to 78.5 inches. The key fob to the Accord Hybrid Touring. 10-way power seat adjustment, heated ventilated seats, leather wrap seats. That starts on the EXL Hybrid. Ventilated front seats, that's only going to be on this trim. It's perforated memory, that's going to start on the EXL Hybrid. 4 4-way power seat adjustment for the passenger. 12 speakers through Bose. That's only going to be on this trim. You have the honeycomb pattern that makes the seamless air vents, the glossy black contrast stitch, more of a flat dashboard. Leg space, I'm at 6'3". I got about 4 inches here, and I have about 4.5 inches here. It is a driver focused setup, just very lightly. This does pick up just a little bit more so than on the passenger side with the standard wireless charger on all trims. Leather around the shifter, you got a large area for your beverages. Let's fire it up. Now the touring trim gets a heads-up display. That's a 6-inch heads-up display only on this trim. Leather wrap steering wheel heated. This is also only going to be on this trim. Multi-function with the paddles, 10.2 informational display. Now this is going to be on every Accord. So even if you don't want the hybrid, you'll still get this screen configuration, which can be configurable also, and you can have the navigation. 12.3-inch screen, you have to go into the hybrids. 9-inch is standard across all of the trims. Google Play, Google Assist, Google Maps. Alexa built in starts on the Sport Hybrid. All trims will have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. When you go here, you get the HD radio, Google built in. Put it into reverse, and you get a reverse camera, but you also have the front and rear parking sensors, which you can only get this on the EXL Hybrid or this trim, and it'll show you right here. Another cool thing is when you use your signals, which would be great for some people in Florida, or when you use your lights, everything is going to be right there in the gauge cluster. You have a physical knob, which is awesome because you don't have to have everything for your touch inputs. You still have knobs for your dual climate control settings here too. With 2 USB ports, driving mode select, you're gonna have a total of 4 different driving modes when you go into the hybrid trim. It's gonna be soft to touch. It opens up into a pretty deep storage pocket, and you get a 12-volt tucked underneath there. Leg space for the driver, I have about 5 inches here, and I have an additional 6 inches here. The nice thing is how it goes inwards, so it does give a lot more space and headroom. I would say I have at least 3 or 4 inches, but you can let me know in the comments. Moonroof is going to start on the SE trim, non-hybrid. Auto dimming rear view mirror is going to be on the EXL Hybrid and this trim only. LED interior lights, you get a sunglass holder, acoustic front windscreen inside windows, which means they're dual pane. That's only going to be on this trim. One touch up and down only for the front windows. Soft to touch where it needs to be. You get the gloss black that comes here with a medium-sized storage pocket. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have, and this is the only trim that'll have heated rear seats. It's right here on the door card, so I appreciate that because if someone's sitting here in the middle, you don't have to move their around to do anything because it's right here on the sides. Soft to touch where it needs to be, a little bit smaller storage pocket than my liking, and it's the same style door card as the front. Sitting behind me, you're going to sit up a little bit more so. You'll have storage behind the passenger front seat, 2 USB ports, air vents here, and knee space at my dimensions. I have about 5 inches sitting behind me, and even though you sit up higher, headroom is still pretty decent. With a long armrest and cup holders, and sitting into the center if I had to, I have about 3 inches of knee space here, and I got about 2.5 inches here. Not really sharing too much feet, butt, and shoulder space. This doesn't contour inward, so it's more of a flat design. And because it's a wider vehicle, you have nearly 20 inches from side to side. But I will say the cloth seats, you'll have probably an additional inch of headroom opposed to these leather wrap seats. I'm going to do a brake check to start this one off. And it doesn't feel heavy at all when you mash on the brake pedal, which is a good thing. Turn radius is about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. It's a quiet drive compared to the Camry. You still will hear road noise. I mean, we have 19-inch wheels, but the acoustic front windscreen and side windows definitely help. When you mash on the gas pedal, it does translate to enough power, front wheel drive configuration, so it's not going to throw you back in your seat so much, but the torque is actually more here than it is on the Camry. Maneuverability, the steering is going to be a little bit more heavy than the Camry, but the seat comfort is also better coming here. When they redid this vehicle years ago, because we're around 3-4 years in on the all-new variant for this 11th generation, they reconfigured the seats, they reconfigured the suspension, making this a lot more comfortable, and that generates to a better drive, especially when you're doing more commutes. And let's face it, it's a hybrid, you're planning on putting miles on the vehicle. I like the way I sit in this opposed to the Camry, because you sit a little bit lower in the vehicle, not so high, so for someone that's tall, you're not going to feel like you're hitting the headliner. And the suspension itself is a lot more comfortable. You still have physical buttons, so it's not all touch derived, so I appreciate that for this touch screen. It is Google based, Google Play, Google Maps, Google Assist. When you go into this touring trim, this is the only way that you get the Google built in. Amazon Alexa is going to be on all of the hybrid trims only, and 9-inch infotainment screen is going to be standard on the base trim with this 10.2 gauge cluster. The nice thing about this is you can already see I have the navigation here, heads-up display that's only on this trim, and it's a 6-inch heads-up display. The Bose 12 speakers, I personally like it. Some people have said in prior comments and reviews that it's not as good as other stereo systems, but I think Bose does a good job with the bass in treble. Obviously, if you start turning it up really loud, it can start distorting, because there isn't really an amp that's going to hold it when you start going into these model vehicles. Pickup, it does have it. And it just stays smooth and composed throughout. I don't feel like I'm having to push the car either. It does have a sufficient amount of power, but does it translate into keeping the heritage of Honda alive? I feel that they should bring back the 252 horsepower turbocharged 2-liter, because that really did transform this brand, not only because it was just as fast as a BMW 330i, but it was one of the fastest in class. This is still pretty quick though, going in the mid 5-second range. And this is the performance numbers. Does it keep the heritage of the Accord alive? I mean, it does have a sufficient amount of power, but it's definitely not the 2-liter that we lost. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.